everyone, welcome to Bradley's Basement Blog, and I'm Tim Bradley. This review has been long overdue. I had some plans for my review on Dr. Fifth, the fifth instalment of the Doctor Who Mr. Men book series. Originally, I had in mind to invite Sarah Sutton to be involved with this review, with her reading the story for me, perhaps when I saw her next time at a convention or a Comic-Con. Sadly, those plans have been squandered by the events of 2020 at the time of this review. Please keep safe. It's a shame, as I was really looking forward to seeing Sarah Sutton again at a convention and hopefully invite her to be a part of this review. I was also hoping to see Sarah and Peter Davison at a convention in Bedford around October time this year, but that's been rescheduled for April next year. So, to make up for these disappointments, I'm going to do my Dr. Fifth review on the day that I was supposed to be going to Bedford, which should be a nice fitting touch. And I'm also using some sound bites of interviews I took with Sarah Sutton and Peter Davison from the Folkestone Film, TV and Comic-Con on what they thought of the Dr. Fifth book, which should be a nice touch as well. So yeah, today we're going to take a look at Dr. Fifth. And I've been looking forward to reading this book for quite some time, as it's one of my favourite books in the Doctor Who Mr. Men book series. It features my favourite TARDIS team of the Fifth Doctor, Nyssa, Tegan and Adric for season 19 of Doctor Who on TV. It was very fascinating to read this Doctor Who Mr. Men book, and it was even more fascinating to see how Adam Hargreaves had interpreted these four characters in Dr. Fifth. The book was released alongside Doctor Third, Doctor Sixth and Doctor Tenth in the third batch of Doctor Who Mr. Men books. In this story, the Fifth Doctor go on an adventure in a supermarket. Will they find Cybermen there? Will they find the Master there and be caught in his trap? Well, let's find out. Let's take a look at Dr. Fifth and see if the TARDIS team can get more food in the TARDIS fridge. Perhaps they might get some sausages. Enjoy! So, to start off, we have the Fifth Doctor looking like Mr. Bounce on the front cover. I really like how Peter Davison's Doctor is portrayed in Mr. Men form, with yellow body, blonde hair, little red nose, the hat, the cricket bat he's holding in his right hand, and the cricket ball he's got in his left hand. The white trainers complete the look perfectly. It's a good design. We open with the Fifth Doctor lying about in the Zero Room aboard the TARDIS. This soundbite from the interview I had with Peter Davison at the Folkestone Film, TV and Comic-Con in May 2018 about the Fifth Doctor in this scene sums it up perfectly. Yeah, you like Dr. Fifth, I take it?
I do, yeah. It's very good.
Yes, I really like the first page of the book where you're just sleeping in the Zero Room.
That's what I'd like to be doing now.
Yeah,
sleeping.
I'm just wondering if that's Adam Hargreaves' interpretation of you. Sleeping.
He's got it right if he's talking about me now. Yes.
Yes. Well, it's a good likeness, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I don't know how to take that. For a start, I'm stark naked.
You're not old. You're in the hat.
What goes through Roger Hargreaves' mind?
Yeah, well, that's Roger Hargreaves for you to blame. He started on Mr. Men stuff, so there you go.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Anyway, let's get on with the story. It had been a very long day, but 5 minutes in the Zero Room would set the Doctor right. That's just what the Doctor ordered, announced the Doctor when he awoke. Although I do feel a bit peckish. I fancy a snack. Don't worry, Doctor. I'm sure we can provide you with a box of celery sticks. Oh, wait, you hate eating celery, don't you? Well, I'm sure we can provide you with another type of decorative vegetable. At least you don't have to wear one on your lapel. In the next scene, we have the Doctor in the TARDIS console room where Nyssa is, although she's more purpley than I remember her. And she's got red, or is it chestnut hair? I don't know. And she's got a yellow nose and is wearing blue shoes. Also, she looks worried. Actually, I like Nyss's little Mrs. look here in the book. It's very cute. The Doctor looks happy in the console room too. But a problem ensues as Nyssa looks in a fridge. Has that fridge always been there in the console room? We're all out of food, said Nyssa, looking in the fridge. Not a sausage. Please don't say that, Nissa. My cuddly toy dog Cuddles will go nuts if he heard you say that. He loves sausages, and he loves jelly babies. Don't say the word jelly babies either, please. The doctor thankfully comes up with a solution. We better pop down to Earth and restock, said the doctor. Wait, hang on. Don't you have endless supplies of food in the TARDIS, Doctor? Your ship is big on the inside, after all. I'm pretty sure you must have a hidden supply of food somewhere in the depths of the TARDIS that doesn't require you to go to Earth and restock. Mind you, the Doctor and Nissa would probably point out to me that there's no harm in visiting the Earth supermarkets to restock the TARDIS anyway, so I guess that's fair enough. The Doctor let Adric take the TARDIS controls, and they landed in the car park of a supermarket. And as we can see in this picture here, the TARDIS has landed in the back of a red pickup truck. Tegan is looking out through the TARDIS doors, with her air hostess hat stuck on her head, I might add, whilst Adric is looking at Tegan from the ground. I assume Adric got out of the TARDIS first, before Tegan did. Sarah Sutton and I commented about the Mr. and Little Mrs. interpretations of Adric and Tegan featured in this book when we met in Folkestone 2018. But there's a nice little picture of Adric as well, and Tegan, and also you as well.
He's small.
He looks so small, doesn't he?
I don't know why he's so small. Little green shoes on. That's just so cute.
That is so cute, yes.
I'm going to get a copy of that.
And it's also amazing that Adric's got his badge for mathematical excellence pinned onto him when he isn't wearing any clothes. Like all the 4 members of the TARDIS crew aren't wearing clothes in this book. Maybe I shouldn't read too much into that. Wow, that's not the cleverest bit of parking I've ever seen, commented Tegan. It's not exactly CAA standard, I agree, Tegan. But hey, a landing's a landing, as you said in Castrovalva. At least I'm allowed to fly the TARDIS, said Adric, bristling. Maybe you should have given the TARDIS console a thump with your fist, Adric. Then you wouldn't be arguing with Tegan here. Now, said the Doctor. No bickering, please. Yeah, you, Adric, and you, Tegan, are very naughty children when arguing all the time in the TARDIS. I'm glad Nissa doesn't argue with the Doctor, even though he does tell her off about technical things sometimes. They all walked into the supermarket, where the Doctor had the strangest feeling. He could have sworn that he had seen the little old lady pushing a shopping trolley before. Maybe she's Judy Andrews, who played an evil version of Mary Poppins at one time. There was something very familiar about her. Maybe it was the beard. Maybe it's the ridiculous wig that she's wearing. Or maybe it's the pink dress with white and blue flowers dotted all over. And just for the sake of argument, it's clearly the Master in that old lady disguise, isn't it? Who else could it possibly be? It's a 5th Doctor story. The Master has to make an appearance in this adventure. Unless, of course, it's the Black Guardian with a crow on his head. However, the Doctor was quickly distracted by the thought of what to eat. What about what to drink, Doctor? How about lemonade with lots of ice? Or a cup of tea with 2 sugars, just as you like it. They wandered from aisle to aisle. They peered down the cans good aisle, and as you can see in this picture, the Doctor has seen an Earthshock Cyberman picking up a can from the aisle. I wonder if it's baked beans. Come to think of it, what is a Cyberman doing in a supermarket in the first place? When the Doctor said something about eating a well-prepared meal, I don't think he was being serious, Cyber Leader. I know this is a Cyber Leader, by the way, because he's got the black handles on his head. We're not going down there, declared the Doctor. That's the sort of canned food I would like to avoid. How can you be so sure about this, Doctor? You never know. The canned foods might be excellent canned foods. How about a pizza? Suggested Nissa. Do Trogonites like eating pizza? Then again, Nissa and Tegan would later order pizza when they were holidaying on Vectrex in the Big Finish audio Kiss of Death, so what do I know? Maybe they should have ordered a Domino's pizza instead of going to the supermarket. Perfect, agreed the Doctor. And with that, Adric rushed ahead to the freezer section to have a look. I wonder if Adric knows what to look for when it comes to the freezer section. Will he know what a pizza looks like? Then again, Adric could just about pick any food item from the supermarket since he greedily had a lot of food at the fancy dress ball at Cranley Hall in Black Orchid. Yes! Got my Black Orchid reference in this review. It was at the freezer section that Adric met the Master. The nice old lady the Doctor spotted earlier. "Can you help me?" asked the little old lady when he, Adric, got there. Adric happily opened the freezer door for her. You could see how happy-looking Adric is, the way he's looking up at the master, the old lady, towering above him. I agree with Sarah. Adric's so small and cute-looking the way he is, with his green shoes and blue star pinned on him. I wonder if Matthew Waterhouse has seen this book. Probably has. And here's where I got the inspiration for Sarah to read the story for my Dr. Fifth review. Sarah read this bit of text featured in the book alongside the picture of Tegan, the Fifth Doctor, and Nyssa when I interviewed her at the Folkestone Comic Con back in May 2018. For your enjoyment, here's Sarah reading this bit of the story to you as well as to me.
Like this.
Yeah.
Where's Edric got to? We should stick together, complained Tegan. I have discovered living with a doctor that going off on your own only leads to trouble.
If only I could get Sarah to read the full story to me where she's voicing Tegan in that Australian accent she does so well for the short trip audios by Big Finish. I'd be a happy man. Maybe I will someday for a future thing with Dr. Fifth or something. Maybe I could get Peter, Sarah, Janet and Matthew to read the story at a convention someday. Hehe. Incidentally, Tegan, have you just realised that going off on your own only leads to trouble? I doubt that'll stop anyone who's a companion of the Doctor's to wander off on their own. It is funny to see Tegan looking open-mouthed and a bit like Little Miss Bossy, as well as the Doctor looking glum and carrying his cricket bat around with him, and Nyssa with a smile on her face. I wonder if Nyssa finds all of this fascinating with Adric gone missing. And sure enough, when they got to the freezer section, Adric was in trouble. What else is new? He was trapped in a freezer. Even though we never got to see Adric be trapped in a freezer. How exactly did Adric get trapped anyway? Was he made to look inside and got pushed in by the master? I knew it! Cried Tegan. Of course you do, Tegan. You know everything. Quick, let's get him out, said the Doctor. I'll use my cricket ball to open the freezer section. That will work. But as they opened the door, the little old lady rushed at them from behind and knocked them into the freezer with her trolley. They were all trapped. Ah, so that's how the master knocked them into the freezer. He used the trolley. I wonder why he didn't use his tissue compression eliminator. Actually, it's rather funny to see Tegan, Nyssa and the Doctor hanging out from the freezer with their legs dangling and with the door open whilst being pushed in by the master's trolley. The Doctor even dropped his cricket bat in the process. Most distressing. I hope he didn't lose his cricket ball. And here we are inside the freezer with the Doctor, Nyssa, Tegan, and a frozen Adric. Yikes, he turned blue so fast, didn't he? As well as getting an icicle under his nose and under his left arm. Does freezing in a freezer work the same way as in that Dad's Army episode, where Jones and Walker were freezing and turning into ice by the second? Well, I think we can safely say that this is all Adric's fault, said Tegan. Adric glowered at her. Or at least he tried to, but his face was frozen. You're not kidding. I'm surprised the pizzas haven't turned blue the way Adric has. Or maybe they've turned blue inside the pizza boxes. Adric's hair has spiked up as well with being frozen. I wonder if he'll end up being a rock star by this point. Fooled you, cried a voice from outside the freezer. It was the master, gleefully waving a little old lady's wig and dress. I'm surprised the Doctor, Nyssa, Tegan and Adric didn't realise it was the master in an instant once they saw him in the supermarket. Then again, his disguise as the portrait was convincing. Let's be thankful he didn't dress up as Khalid from Time Flight. Welcome to my trap! Which one? Event 1 or Castrovalva? Or is it a time contour to go back to the past? I knew I recognised you from somewhere, exclaimed the Doctor. Yes, a pity you didn't recognise your old enemy fast enough, Doctor. Surely you could sense one Time Lord from another without a change of appearance, even if it was a disguise. Doctor, I'm cold, stuttered Nyssa. I wish I could give you a blanket, Nyssa. Brave heart, Nyssa, said the Doctor, pulling out his sonic screwdriver. Shouldn't you be saying brave heart to Tegan instead of Nyssa here, Doctor? Then again, Tegan asked you not to say brave heart to her ever again in Psychodrome. So I guess Nyssa is the next best choice to say brave heart to? Let me guess. A sonic screwdriver to the rescue. What a surprise, mocked Tegan. Now come on, Tegan, be fair. It won't be long before the Doctor loses his sonic screwdriver and has it destroyed by the pterodactyls in the Visitation. Such a sad moment, losing a dear old friend. Stand back, cried the Doctor. Easier said than done in a freezer, muttered Tegan. Then the Doctor blasted the freezer door off its hinges. Just to say, I find the sonic screwdrivers in the new series era more impressive than the ones in the classic series era. I mean, not one of the sonic screwdrivers glowed blue, green, or yellow during John Pertwee, Tom Baker, and Peter Davison's time. The 4 TARDIS travellers leapt from the freezer to discover all the shelves in the supermarket had been moved around. Oh no, the Doctor and his friends have got caught in a space-time trap again. Recursive occlusion, if you will. And look, Adric falls quickly out of the freezer, returning to his yellow self. I suppose Alzarians do heal faster compared to humans, don't they? The Master has rearranged the store, cried Nyssa. And she was right. The Master had created an impossible maze. If only Adric could see a way out of this maze, like when he created the world of Castrovalva for the Master when he got captured. I do hope Adric won't drink too much and be sick afterwards, once our hero's visit to the supermarket is over. It's my trap within a trap, laughed the Master. You'll never find your way out. Nah, this should be fun, shouldn't it? It's like one of those green hedge mazes you go through at country houses or theme parks or something. I'm sure our 4 TARDIS heroes can find a way out, eventually, through this maze the Master's created. What we need, said the Doctor, is a bag of frozen peas. Frozen peas? questioned Adric. What a ridiculous suggestion. Yeah, now's not the time to get hungry, Doctor. Mind you, frozen peas could be good in helping a bumped head. I'm sure I'll need frozen peas once I bumped my head. But Adric was wrong. Because as they explored the maze, the Doctor left a trail of peas so they knew where they had been and were able to find a way out. Well, that's even more ridiculous. A ball of string would have worked better. It worked well for Theseus when escaping the Minotaur in a labyrinth. I hope this doesn't mean the Doctor, Nyssa, Tegan and Adric will face the menace of the Naimon in the supermarket. Though, speaking personally, that would be very exciting. Thankfully, the Doctor and his friends were out of the maze. To the TARDIS! cried the Doctor as they escaped from the supermarket. But the TARDIS was nowhere to be seen. The pickup truck had driven away. I wonder if the Master was responsible for driving the pickup truck away. I'd like to think so, since we never see what happened to him following the end of this story. No, seriously, the Master is forgotten about in the rest of the story, once our heroes have escaped. I wonder what happened to him. The Doctor and his friends ran around the car park, searching for some sign of the TARDIS. There! cried Nyssa suddenly. And there was the TARDIS, emerging from a car wash on the back of the pickup truck. Wait, did the TARDIS get a car wash when it was being pulled away on the back of the pickup truck? I hope it did. The TARDIS has been getting grubby over the years travelling about in time and space. Good thing that Nyssa spotted the TARDIS when she did, and this was after the TARDIS on the back of the pickup truck came out of the car wash. Once they got the TARDIS back from the truck driver, again, not really sure if it was the Master who drove the pickup truck or not, and were safely aboard, the Doctor retired to the Zero Room for a much-needed rest. Really, Doctor? You need a rest in the Zero Room after the supermarket adventure you had? I don't recall you going to the Zero Room a lot after having one of your adventures on TV. It had been a long day. That's no excuse! In fact, shouldn't the Zero Room be gone by this point after it was jettisoned into space? I mean, I know the Zero Room came back in Renaissance of the Daleks, but this story takes place during the Doctor's time with Tegan, Nyssa and Adric, who all look shocked in the TARDIS console room once they've returned, whilst the Doctor seems to be happy and has his cricket bat back. I can't see if he's got his cricket ball back, though. Tegan, you're blocking our view of the Doctor's left hand in the picture we're seeing of all 4 of you. 5 minutes later, he reappeared, refreshed and restored. Yikes, 5 minutes isn't long enough to have a rest, is it? I mean, usually I take an hour or 2 to get a nap during the day sometimes. Mind you, Time Lord rest periods might work differently to how humans have their rest periods, so who am I to judge? Just what the Doctor ordered, he said. Although, I do feel rather peckish. Get a takeaway, Doctor. I'm sure it'd save a lot of trouble for you and your friends after the supermarket adventure you've had. Perhaps order a Domino's pizza. Nissa said she wanted a pizza, didn't she? I love Dr. Fifth. This has to be my favourite instalment in the Doctor Who Mr. Men book series. I like the likenesses of Peter Davison's Doctor, Sarah Sutton's Nissa, Janet Fielding's Tegan, and Matthew Waterhouse's Adric in Mr. Men Little Mrs. form. It made my day with reading this book. Yeah, there are issues with how the Master gets dealt with as a villain, especially since he doesn't have a resolution on how he gets defeated at the end. There's also an issue with the Zero Room being in the TARDIS already, as it should have been jettisoned. But overall, I found this a fun book to read. I'm glad I was able to show this book to Sarah Sutton and Peter Davison when I saw them at the Folkestone Film, TV and Comic Con back in May 2018. I hope Sarah Sutton's got her copy of Dr. Fifth. I wonder if I should do my own Dr. Fifth story with Nissa and Billy. It would be fun to do, but it would require a lot of drawing and colouring to achieve. Dr. Fifth is a great instalment of the Doctor Who Mr. Men book series. I like how the Fifth Doctor, Nissa, Tegan and Adric have been interpreted in Mr. Men Little Mrs. form, and I'm glad it was this TARDIS team from Season 19 that was chosen for this book. Season 19 is one of my favourite seasons from the classic era of Doctor Who. Thank you for watching this review by me on Dr. Fifth. Hope you enjoyed it. Next time I'll be checking out the 6th book in this series called Dr. Sixth, featuring the 6th Doctor and Perry. The Rani is in that story too. How will Adam Hargreaves interpret the 6th Doctor in Mr. Men form? Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.